Hi everybody, this is Angie from Tourangie.com, and I'm in Princeton, but I'm pulling in to Roselawn Memorial Gardens, Roselawn Cemetery, right here to the right, Roselawn Funeral Home. But we're going to drive through the cemetery. And you can see over here to the left is the mausoleum area. But anyway, I have driven through all of the cemeteries in Mercer County, it seems like. And this is the one I haven't done yet. And honestly, the reason I have not done it was I can't find a lot of information about it. But I'm going to read to you some stuff that I found. It's not much, probably like 2 minutes worth. And then I'm going to just talk about the cemetery and just a few other things around Princeton. So you can see this is a really pretty cemetery. I love the view of it. It's just on the hill here. There's always flowers here. Everybody's graves are decorated with flowers. There's not really any headstones. It's all just flat, and I think that's really pretty. This cemetery was started in 1956 by George A. Morton, and it has grown to be one of the largest perpetual care cemeteries in West Virginia. In 2008, the funeral home was constructed, as you all seen there at the beginning, and it went under new ownership in 2022, but burials still happen here. Of course, there's plenty of land here, as you can see. It's beautiful views, beautiful mountain views or whatever. You can see there's plenty decent roads, plenty of space. This circles around to different areas, and you may catch glimpses of different statues. There is the Last Supper statue. Of course, there's the three crosses at the top of the hill, which I'll be driving up to and turning around. That's probably one of the best views of the area is up there at those crosses. I have scoured around to try to find really any information on who built some of these sculptures or put the crosses up there, and I'm just not finding anything. I reached out to Roselawn, and the lady there told me that she doesn't know any of the information and they don't have it right there, that probably some of the older people that worked there have it, but I didn't come up with any information because she said that the older people have retired or moved on, so I just don't have any information. I looked through the Historical Society books that I don't have information there. So my last resort was searching through newspapers. And the earliest newspaper clipping that mentions Roselawn says 1954. Well, the cemetery wasn't started till 1956, so obviously there was another Roselawn, probably closer to Marion, Virginia, because that was where the man lived that was buried in a Roselawn. So I feel like there was a Roselawn down towards Marion, Virginia instead. So when it says Roselawn Memorial Gardens, the first one I see in the Bluefield Daily Telegraph is October 2nd of 1956, and it was Miss Dolly Mae Walls, 60 of Matoka, died at St. Luke's Hospital yesterday afternoon, and will be held tomorrow at 2 p.m. from Matoka Methodist Church. Burial will follow in the Roselawn Memorial Gardens on Bluefield Princeton Road. So that's the first one that I see while searching the archives of the Daily Telegraph that mention Roselawn Memorial Gardens. And that is all I have for you basically with this video. If I come up with a lot more information and some stuff, I'll redo this video. But like I said, I've been looking for information for a long time now, just haven't found anything. But like I said, it's a beautiful cemetery, and I encourage you to continue watching this video just for the, just for the scenery. Here I am driving up to the crosses now. You can see them up there, and it's a place to turn around up at the top. So we're going to continue and talk about something else. While doing research, I run across articles, usually old newspaper articles if I don't find stuff from the Historical Society. And one that I found was put in the Bluefield Daily Telegraph in 1976, but it was January 1976, but talks about Jesse James. Now, I've talked about Jesse James and the visit of him and his brother to Princeton before in my videos, but I thought I would read this article because I thought it was very neat. It's called Jesse James Among Visitors to Historic Old Judge Johnson's Home in Princeton. People claim the house is haunted, but I've never seen a ghost. The only unusual guest that I have ever heard of in the house was Jesse James, declares Mrs. Fay Honaker Cunningham, who resides in the old Judge E. Johnson home at 1800 West Main Street. The old home reportedly has many stories connected to it, including several versions of the James visit to Princeton during the antebellum days. Recalling stories which had been told to her by her parents, Miss Cunningham related the following about the home's well-known visitor. The story goes that Jesse James visited in this house when he came to Princeton looking to see how much money was in the bank and to see if it was worth robbing. Posing as a bank equipment salesman, he went to the old Bank of Princeton, which sat where the Pure Oil station on North Walker Street stands. The banker was Hercules, Uncle Hack Scott. He told James, he didn't recognize, that he didn't do the buying of the bank equipment and sent James to see the buyer, Judge David E. Johnson. Johnson was not home at the time, or so the story goes. Anyway, James was invited into the house to wait. He soon struck up a conversation with Johnson's daughter and asked if she owned a piano. When she told him that she did, he asked to see it and then wanted her to play. She played beautifully and then asked if he played. James answered that he did and sat down and rendered a selection which was much more lovely than her own. At the time, James was known for his skill on the piano. Nevertheless, he remained unrecognized. Sometime later, in 1882, the Johnsons saw a picture of James and an article in the Bluefield paper that he had been shot in St. Joseph, Missouri by Robert Ford. Recognizing the man in the picture, a man with a pronounced scar on his cheek, they realized that they had entertained Jesse James in their home. He had left, however, without robbing the bank. History lovers in Princeton may recall another story which tells of a foiled robbery due to the graciousness of Johnson, who was indeed at home the day that Jesse James' brother came into town. Johnson is said to have invited James in his home for lunch, and that due to Johnson's generosity and because he was such a nice person, the decision was made to move to another town. Still, another tale states that the crime was contemplated by Jesse James, who sent his brother Frank to ride horseback across the mountains from Hinton, where the gang had been hiding out, to observe the bank. But it was decided from the appearance of the bank's exterior that it was not worth the risk. At different times, Judge Johnson served his county in a variety of ways. He held the office of prosecuting attorney in Mercer County and was a member of the Constitutional Convention, a state senator, a judge of the circuit court, and a member of Congress. He was highly instrumental in the decision naming Princeton as county seat, serving as Princeton's messenger to Charleston. He outwitted the Concord Athens representative Jasper Kelly, attorney, by having him falsely arrested. Kelly was several hours ahead of Johnson on the road to Charleston, but after Johnson convinced a mountaineer who lived near Beckley that Kelly was riding a stolen horse, that a $500 reward was offered, the mountaineer quickly overtook Kelly, bound him away to jail, and waited for Johnson to arrive. Johnson, by the time, was on his way to Charleston, determined to have the first conference with Judge Brown, the man who would decide the location of the county seat. Kelly arrived 4 hours after Johnson and soon realized it was too late. Johnson had outwitted him, and Princeton was named the county seat in 1874. Well, that's all I have. I thought that was just a cute little story about the county seat and, of course, Jesse James and stuff. So I thought I would share since I didn't have very much info at all on Roselawn Cemetery. Well, this is Angie from Tourangie.com. I hope you enjoyed this video. Come to my website, read my blogs, but make appointments so I can help you plan your next travel adventure. Talk to you all later.